Last week I asked you guys to pick a streaming service because every week on Movie Crap Live I'm picking a different streaming service to do recommendations from, basically. And so I've done Netflix and Amazon Prime and what we do? Disney Plus. And I thought, since you guys like Vudu, I'm going to do Vudu. I don't know. I thought about doing Tubi because I've heard a lot of interesting stuff about that. Next week I'll probably do Netflix. But anyway, so Vudu is an interesting streaming service. That there's a lot of free things, but there's also things you pay for, much like Amazon Prime. So people often get confused about it because when you hear streaming service, you expect everything to be for free or to be there because you paid your $5 or whatever. Vudu, and so when you mix those, people get confused. But basically, it works like Amazon Prime, where you have films that are traditionally on demand that you pay $5 for, and it has free stuff with ads. So if you're hurting right now and can't afford Netflix, this is maybe not the greatest alternative, but it has stuff for you to watch, basically. This recommendation list was helped by Cory Baker, filmmaker, and I want to very much thank him for doing that. Please check out his YouTube channel. But anyway, so here are my Vudu recommendations. They have all three of the original live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, as well as TMNT. If you have not seen those or want to see them again, even Ninja Turtles 3, you can watch them all on Vudu. They have Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, which is a favorite comedy of mine, which I recommend. Follow That Bird, which I did a review of with Sophie. That was actually the first movie I ever saw in theaters. I really like Follow That Bird. I think it's incredibly underrated. They also have a very early M. Night Shyamalan movie that everyone forgets about before he did scary movies. He did this coming-of-age film called Wide Awake with Rosie O'Donnell. I remember liking it in the 90s. I don't know how well it holds up, but imagine seeing an M. Night Shyamalan movie that doesn't have a twist. Maybe it has a twist, I don't even remember, but isn't like The Sixth Sense or anything. Wide Awake is there. They have Kon-Tiki, which is, I don't remember if it won the Best Foreign Film Oscar, but it's like sort of an Icelandic adventure film, and those guys eventually did, I think they directed the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but it was it's like a really good adventure film. Little Children, which is a great drama starring Kate Winslet. It's actually why Jackie Earle Haley had his comeback. That's really good as well. In the Mouth of Madness is a wonderful John Carpenter movie. It's probably like the last really good John Carpenter film. Kind of gets into the idea of an apocalypse, and everyone sees this book or movie based on the Stephen King person. They'll all go mad, while as other people, when horror got severely criticized, like Wes Craven, would talk about the tropes and things like that, and kind of go along with the criticism. Carpenter decided to be yeah, but what if horror films actually do make you crazy, and made a whole movie about that. It's really cool. Stars Sam Neill right after, by the way, seriously, right after Jurassic Park. And then a really great John le Carre film, A Most Wanted Man, the last film with Philip Seymour Hoffman as a lead. Really great drama. Train to Busan is there, if you haven't seen Train to Busan. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Since I just did Reboot, I'm just going to mention it's there. If you want to see that, it's probably much better than Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. The Usual Suspects, which is, even though Bryan Singer is kind of cringy, is really great. You should check that out. Stand and Deliver. It's kind of an educational film that people forget about. They also have Buffalo 66, if anyone still cares about Vincent Gallo. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which I think is a great comedy. It's directed by Frank Oz, by the way, but it has nothing to do with Muppets. And these are ones that Cory found but didn't get to use. Amityville Horror, which is, I believe, the original, which is great. Gone in 60 Seconds, which is very 2000s, and I kind of love it for that. The Royal Tenenbaums, which is Wes Anderson's classic. We've never seen that. The Devil's Rejects, Rob Zombie's film, which I was never as into, but if you want to see why people like Rob Zombie, that's a good one that they say. Dirty Work, which is a Norm Macdonald starring comedy, which I remember liking in the 90s, haven't seen since, and a great baseball movie from John Sayles, 8 Men Out. Now on to Cory's picks, and I will have Cory introduce them now.
Hey guys, it's Cory from CoryBakerFilmmaker.com, and I just wanted to share 5 quick suggestions of ad-supported movies available on Vudu right now for people to watch while they're stuck at home. First off, I have to recommend Bull Durham. It's my absolute favorite movie. It is the movie where Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins met. It also has Kevin Costner. It's a little love triangle movie. Incredibly wonderful to watch. You don't have to be a baseball fan to appreciate it, but it helps. My second pick, But I'm a Cheerleader. So this movie was sort of right at the vanguard of sort of the indie gay movie, and it's sort of talked about conversion camps and stuff like that, which is still something that's going on today. And sometimes I find it very valuable to watch these older movies that sort of put you in the time and place, and you realize how far or how little we've traveled in that amount of time. Another suggestion, 1114. So this was another indie flick that came out shortly after Crash, so it sort of follows the same sort of like multiple timelines all happening at the same time thing. But I actually kind of enjoyed it a little bit more than Crash, and it's got Rachel Lee Cook in it, which is always a big winner for me. And it's just like one of those fun, like, you know, you're just hanging around and you're looking for a movie to put on. It's not high stakes, but like it engages you, and it's a really great movie for watching at the house. And that's sort of where I was coming from with all these. My fourth pick, I can't miss the opportunity to do an absolute classic horror film. The Exorcist is available. There are a lot of really cool, like, interesting horror movies that are on Vudu, so definitely worth checking out. But if you haven't seen The Exorcist, go check it out. Finally, my last pick, The Founder, movie that came out just a couple years ago. Michael Keaton, when he was in the middle of his renaissance with Birdman and such, came out with this movie about Ray Kroc, the guy who helped make McDonald's what it is today. And it's a really cool, interesting flick, and definitely worth checking out. I appreciate it so much, guys, for letting me be a part, and I can't wait to hear more, and I will be seeing you all eventually one day at the movies.
Thank you very much, Cory, from Cory Baker Filmmaker. Please check out his YouTube, which will be linked below in the description. And you can also, through the list of recommendations, find reviews of the films that I have reviewed on this list, if you need a further reason to see any of these movies. I think I will be doing Netflix next time, but thank you very much, Cory Baker. He's a friend of mine from high school, believe it or not. We've known each other a long time. Check out also the Oh the Anthem podcast, which he's also on, which is a great podcast. Check out Vudu. Thank you very much for watching, and have fun watching in quarantine.